Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a new season of Alfred Hitchcock Presents.
Hitchcock's idea on suspense is to give the audience just enough information where they are left waiting to know what happens but are smart enough to figure it out. Hitchcock did not believe in revealing the conflict, but rather in suggestion. The Babadook starts in her consciousness as Amelia is reliving the night that she was pregnant in the car with her husband before he was tragically killed. Throughout the movie, Jennifer Kent distracts the audience from Amelia's grief of her husband's death by suggesting that her son Samuel is a very troubled and socially awkward child, but as the movie progresses, it becomes clear to the audience that the plot is centered around Amelia's misery. The Babadook can help to increase the suspense of the movie by having Amelia suppress all of her emotions until the very end of the movie when she confronts the monster. The plot coming around full circle can be related to Rear Window, as L.B. Jeffries and Lisa were both stubborn about their career paths and not wanting to change, but as the events unfolded and the characters started to accept the fact that they loved and needed each other, they compromised to stay together. Like Hitchcock, Jennifer Kent built up the entire movie for 1 hour and 30 minutes, and in the last 5 minutes, she had the audience on their toes with their stomachs in hand because we did not know how the movie was going to end. I believe that Kent followed directly in the footsteps of Hitchcock in this film, as the movie was heavily focused on the visual and audio aspects. In Hitchcock's films, he tended to keep the story simple, make use of subjective treatment, and give the audience more information than the characters. In The Babadook, Jennifer Kent makes use of subjective treatment here and there, but is mostly cutting. She also abandons the idea of keeping the story simple, as the movie is a complex idea of humankind having an evil side. In the climax scene of The Babadook, the director, Jennifer Kent, uses the Hitchcockian idea of suspense to help convey the plot going around full circle.
I was really passionate to explore what it's like for someone, because I'm a person in life, I try to face things. You know, if something difficult happens, I try and face it and integrate it. But I know that there are people out there who don't do that, and I'm really fascinated by the idea of people who can suppress and hold on things for many, many years. So.
Keep breathing. Put your seat back, sweetheart. 10 more minutes and we're there. I think it's gonna rain.
Stop!
In the beginning of the scene, Amelia's dead husband walks out from the shadow and says, "I think it's gonna rain," as the sound in the background turns to the night that the husband died. This night is the reason that Amelia has so much anger and pain built up inside her, and that controls the entire movie. In this scene, the husband's face gets sliced off, and Amelia is sobbing on the ground because she has been reliving that night over and over in her head and in her nightmares.
You are nothing.
Jennifer Kent creates suspense after this by using diegetic screeching noises in the background so the audience doesn't know what to expect. According to the Washington Post, Kent's film dances along that line, masterfully balancing the seductive pull of the monster movie with the need for plausible dramatic footing. Up until this point in the movie, the director has been following Hitchcock's idea of suspense and living by his motto of always make the audience suffer as much as possible. When Jennifer Kent shows the Babadook on camera, she abandons this idea because we get to see what Amelia sees instead of keeping her inner demon hidden as a method of creating suspense. In this scene, Jennifer Kent is going full circle as Amelia has transitioned from being afraid to face her demons to calling them out. Amelia is taking control of her life by accepting the fact that her husband is dead and that her son is not a mistake. Rather, he is a very curious and hyperactive soul. Amelia finally starts to take things for what they are and does this by claiming Samuel as her son in this scene. Furthermore, Jennifer Kent creates this suspense by using subjective treatment. The camera switches from Amelia to the room as everything turns to complete hell and as she is fighting to hold on to Samuel for dear life. In this scene, the Babadook is finally suppressed as Amelia takes back her life and accepts her emotions for what they are.
If you touch my son again, I'll fucking kill you!
At the end of it all, Jennifer Kent makes the Babadook look like a classic Hitchcockian film. She makes use of his techniques to enhance the suspense in the movie and differentiate that from shock. Like Hitchcock, Kent has a climactic plot twist, tension building up the entire movie, and for the most part having the action take place in a single setting.